Welcome. Thank you for coming to Impact TV. Thank you for being here tonight. Real Impact, all things real estate. Couple of announcements, but first of all, welcome to our show tonight. We've got a great lineup tonight. We've got some wonderful information for you. What we have going on within the system. We've got a couple of absolutely phenomenal meetings coming up this week in the Metroplex here. So we look forward to talking about that. And then next week we got some meetings coming up too. But this week we've got two wonderful meetings. But we'll get into that in just a second. So welcome to Real Impact TV. We are working to get the Subject to book out. I've got a pre-printing on some of these. They're not available until sometime early October. We're revamping the website. They will be available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and the other bookstores that you have out there. So look forward to having this out there. It's got some great information in there if you're interested to know more about Subject to. And we look forward to talking more about this in the near future. So just to get right into the chase, we had really a great meeting yesterday in Wichita Falls. It was Tim Lockhart at the Impact Wichita Falls location, and he had Amy Sager there. Amy is the owner of August REI, pretty much the most common loan servicer or the most known loan servicer in the Dallas-Fort Worth or in Texas. She is now licensed in Arizona and some other states out there. Looking forward to having her there, and or having her at my Subject to thing. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. But she was in Wichita Falls. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. She was in Wichita Falls yesterday, and her meeting had so much information on there. There's so many things that are going on and so many things that are happening in our real estate investing industry nationally and the state of Texas and some other states out there. There's some stuff going on that needs to be discussed and needs to be you need to have this information. So we're going to get into that after we talk about a couple other things that as we get rolling in here. But I want you to really stay connected, to really get into what we have to offer, what we have to go with our Real Impact local training for you, what we've put on here. So first of all, we're going to get right into this, and we're going to throw Pam. We're going to throw you in the loop here and get you unmuted here. And we want to know what you've got going Tuesday night.
Sorry, I've been at a birthday party. I just came back from Branson. So anyway, I'm tired. But anyway, so Tuesday we have Arnie Abramson coming in, and he's going to do introduction to property tax sales. And I don't know if people know this or not, but we have an average of around 3,000 people a year that do not pay their property taxes. So Arnie's going to come in, talk about what's going on, how to purchase those. He also has a big secret to tell everybody that I think people are going to be surprised about where some of the money's coming from. And that's all I can say. That's all I'm going to say about it. So if you want to know the rest, come to the meeting. We're going to start networking at 6:30. It's going to be at Texas Motor Speedway on the 7th floor and the Sam Houston room and everything. So that's, about the meeting that's going on. And he's real excited about it coming.
All right. So that if any of y'all have not been to a presentation by Arnie Abramson, Arnie is probably the best or the most knowledgeable.
He is
real estate tax guy in the world. I'm not talking just Texas. This guy has done presentations all over the country. He's been on Fox News. He's been on all these national television shows. He's been written up in the Wall Street Journal. So Arnie is the guy. I've known Arnie for many, many years. I think all of us in the impact world have known Arnie. And this is just a great opportunity for you to see what's going on out there. Now, there's been some delays in some tax sales through the COVID deal.
But
some of the counties are going online.
But yes, Dallas County has gone online. Tarrant County is going to be right by. I heard about to go online, and I think that's some of the information that Arnie's going to share with us. Also, Arnie has a group where they actually loan money, and he's going to get into talking a little bit about that. To help buy some of these properties and stuff.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. So if you want to know more about how that works and how that whole courthouse thing works, and the number one thing, if you don't have information, if you don't have the knowledge regarding tax sales, you have no business bidding on a tax auction. You want to have this knowledge because it will keep you from buying a wrong lien. It will keep you from buying a property thinking you're paying all the property taxes when there may not be all the property taxes are on that list. So I'm excited about that. New location, Decatur Alliance, new location, Texas Motor Speedway, 7th floor, Sam Houston room.
Yes.
How did you swing that, Pam? How did you make that happen?
Well, I don't know that they're going to let us keep doing it there, but they are this month. I just happened to hit them at the right time, walked in and found it. So there we go. If they're not going to let us come back, there's the Marriott across the street from them. And then they also have the golf course, like Top Golf. And everything. So, but I'm trying to talk them into letting us stay there, but they have a very busy schedule that's kind of conflicting. We just happen to get it this Tuesday. So, all right. But we are going to keep it in the area.
All right. Good deal. I love the Alliance area. The one thing, there's plenty of parking. That's for sure.
Yes.
And you just go into the front. They'll have a reception area there, like a guard guy or woman, and you just tell them you're at the real estate meeting.
Yes.
Go to the elevator, 7th floor, Sam Houston room. I've been there. It is a phenomenal place to go to, and there will be signs out front and stuff like that, so you'll be able to find it. So we'll make sure that's all done on that. So congratulations on that, Pam. Do you have anything else happening right now?
Well, hopefully to either tomorrow or the next couple of days, I am closing on 2 properties. Finally, we're getting them closed. One of them is, dealing with the reverse mortgage, and another one we just happen to be picking up in the same neighborhood. I went to Robin Thompson's vacation rental homes up in Branson, Missouri. That's where I've been the last 4 days. And I'm glad that I went. It gave me some insight on, should you leverage your money? Should you not? And also we had a guest speaker come in to talk to us about commercial loans. It's very different talking to the banks to get loans versus going to a commercial bank. And I talked to the lady up there. She's with Simmons Bank, maybe doing a virtual a Zoom call with her. It's very interesting what she has to say. They are here in Texas also. So yes, and it's very interesting how they look at commercial stuff, lines of credits, portfolios, something that I didn't know really existed until I went to this. So this conference that I went to really opened up my eyes to a lot of stuff, and talking about taking some rentals and turning them into vacation rentals. I know everybody thinks that you can't do them here in the area, but that's really not true. So anyway, Got a lot going on.
Good deal. Good deal. That's great. That's great. We've got a question down here that came through the chat. Does Arnie have a book? Arnie does not have a book, as far as I know. He's got a great website. We can get that to you, John. You can reach out to the Tunes, to Doug and Renee, and they can get you into the right website that Arnie has on that. So, but as far as I know, he doesn't have a book. I'll talk to him about that. You know, maybe now that I've got,
well, it could be one of his secrets he's never sharing about. Who knows?
Maybe I got my book out. I can co-author with him or something. Maybe we'll sit down and do a collaboration with him and Dennis and I and see what we can put together on that. One more project for Dennis, right?
That's right.
Yeah, Dennis has got like 12 books he's writing right now. So TexasTaxSales.com, but definitely. John, get with Doug Toon, because he is the guy for tax sales in East Texas. So reach out to him on that and make that happen. So, Pam, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And congratulations on the 2 properties that you've got working on and you've got closing. So we really appreciate you being on here right now and making that happen. Good deal.
Thank you.
Pam, have a good evening. Okay, our next big event that we have this week. This is gigantic. I mean, the Texas Motor Speedway is huge. Arnie is huge, but we've got Arlington, Texas back online. I am so excited that we have Tony and Cindy Jardou that will be doing a wonderful presentation. Are there any good deals in this market? And Tony, tell us what's going on Thursday the 16th.
Yeah, thanks, Roger. We're pretty excited. We're going to have our grand opening of the Impact Arlington Real Estate Investing Group. And the opening will be at Texas Golf Center. We're going to have kind of a grand reopening of the old Arlington Real Estate Association that Dennis created years and years ago. So the old area meetup is now the Impact Arlington meetup. Texas Golf Center is located at 8940 Creek Run Road, has a Fort Worth address. The property actually is on the border of Arlington and Fort Worth, easily located off of I-30 and East Chase Parkway in Arlington. On Thursday night, networking begins at 6:30. Our presentations start promptly at 7 o'clock and we'll run until 9 o'clock. We're going to discuss, as you just said, Roger, are there any good deals in this market? We're going to discuss capitalizing on the current market conditions, finding motivated sellers and opportunities. What are the skills needed to succeed today? How to invest with confidence and how to avoid a bad deal. And we'll even touch on the eviction moratorium and the impact of that to investors. We're going to have door prizes. By the way, the meeting is free. We'll have free food, drinks, and door prizes. And we're looking forward to seeing a lot of folks out there. It's been a while since we had a presence in Arlington, and now we're very excited and we're honored to follow up in Dennis's footsteps. And so Cindy and I are very excited to meet a lot of people on Thursday night.
All right, good deal. I'm excited about it. I think we might even have Dennis kind of come in and show up. If you haven't seen Dennis for a while, it'll be a great opportunity to say hi to Dennis and see him out again and making that happen. So good deal. And there was another subject there. Oh, I wanted to. Your title this month, are there any good deals in this market? Now, we've gone through the pandemic for a year and a half, maybe a little bit more. How many deals have you done in a year and a half, Tony?
Oh, we have done probably close to 30 deals in a year and a half. And
so all these people that are going around and whining and saying they can't find properties or they're waiting on the market to change or whatever else. They just need to wake up, and they need to be showing up Thursday night to see what you're doing and how you're making this happen, right?
Yeah, that's correct, Roger. And, if we have a couple of minutes, I wanted to help some of the folks who might be listening tonight. There's a lot of discussion about how do I find deals? How do I find deals? How do I find deals? And so we're going to talk a little bit about that Thursday night. But there's another part of this whole process that a lot of people kind of leave out. And when it happens, I've seen it myself. Investors will kind of fumble and mumble through the discussion actually when a seller calls you. And so if you don't mind, I'm going to just take a couple of minutes and discuss some of the important ingredients of that call when a seller actually responds to some of your lead generation. So for instance, I call it an interview. When I have a seller calling me, and that's usually as a result of some kind of mail they received from us. We've done a lot of direct mail. I know there's other ways to generate leads. That's one that has worked specifically quite well for Cindy and myself. So my objectives are twofold when a seller calls. One, I want to find out what their motivation is to sell that property. So I always have that in the back of my mind, that at some point during my conversation, which I call an interview, I am going to find out their motivation for selling that property. And we know with motivated sellers, they have one or a combination of these three things happening for the reason to be selling that property. One, they have a personal problem. Two, they might have a financial problem. Three, they might have a property problem. And of course, it can be a combo of all those three. The second primary motivation, my motivation for discussing with that seller, is to set up an appointment to see the property. So I have two objectives: their motivation to sell, and secondly, I want to set up a time to go see the property. And when I set that time, it is going to be within 24 hours, if possible, no later than 48, unless there are going to be extenuating circumstances on their part. And so when I have this conversation with the seller, I'm going to be asking lots of questions. And one of the questions is going to be, what's the general condition of the house? I want to find out what kind of repairs are needed, and I want to find out from the seller. Because here's one thing that I know. That property never gets any better than when you're talking to that seller on the phone. So if the seller says, hey, all we need is paint in the kitchen, I know it's never going to be any better than that. And so my starting point is to just ask, what's the general condition of the house? And from that point, I'm going to ask if anyone's living there. If they say they have somebody living there, or if they said that they're living there, I'm going to follow up from that point. If somebody's living there and it's not them, I want to know how much rent they're paying. And then here's one of my golden questions. I ask them, if you're going to hold on to this property, let's say, Roger, you're the seller and you've called me, and I'm going to use your name as much as possible throughout this interview. And I'm going to ask them, Roger, if you're going to hold on to this property another 5 years, what type of repairs would you do? And then I go quiet and I just let them talk. And if they say something like, well, I'd upgrade the kitchen, and then they start talking about painting this room or painting that room or whatever, I'm making a mental note that they say upgrade the kitchen, because that's not enough information for me. So once they're done talking, I will say, Roger, you mentioned you'd upgrade the kitchen. What kind of things would you do in the kitchen to upgrade it? Because I want them to get specific. When they're done talking and I've got my questions answered about the property, I'll ask if there's anything else I should know about the property. And normally at that point, they say no. Well, here's where I then move into the motive. I'm going to tell Roger, I'm going to say one sentence and then I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to say, Roger, this sounds like a property that might work for us. And then here come the questions. I said, what are you thinking? Why are you thinking about selling it? I'll wait for him to answer. I may have questions off of that, but then I'll say, how long have you been thinking about it? And then this is one that throws a lot of investors. I will ask Roger, the potential seller, have you considered calling a realtor? It's a great question. And somewhere along the line, I'm going to then move into what's the property's value. But here's how I ask that question. I say to Roger, I'm going to check out the most current market conditions, but do you have an idea as to what properties like yours are selling for? That's a great way to ask them what they think their property's worth without having to say, how much are you asking for your property? Because at that point, what happens, and this typically happens for me, is they'll tell me what they want for their property. And you can follow up with that if you want and ask, is that the lowest price you might consider? Is that at all negotiable? A lot of questions around that. And then I'm going to ask a few more questions, but I'm also then going to summarize, because I've been going on now for a while with my questions. I've only mentioned a few of them. I'm going to summarize everything that they've told me and ask, have I left anything out? And then this is the part where I end the interview, and I call it a transition agreement. I'm going to say, Roger, all this sounds good. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to help you or not. The market conditions certainly are going to have more to say on that. But here's what I can promise you, that when I see the inside of the property, if at any point I feel that it won't be a good fit for me, I'm just going to let you know right away. And all I ask in return is that if at any point you feel like it's not a good fit working with me, you just tell me right away. Is that fair? I've said this 100 times. More than 100 times to sellers on the phone. Of course, no one has ever said, no, that's not fair. So you get buy-in immediately. At that point, I set up the time to go see the property. And I always give two options. For instance, I'll say, hey, terrific. I can come by later today or first thing in the morning, which time fits with you better. Always a couple of options. And once we have that settled, I repeat the time, the day and the time of the appointment. And then here's my last question. And Roger, you asked me just a few minutes ago, how many transactions we've done during the COVID period. Toward the end of 2020, so we're still hot and heavy into COVID, we bought 6 properties in in 2 of the last 3 months of 2020. 5 of those all came from this one question. Had sellers calling me. I went through all of these questions that I've just mentioned to you, plus many more. And I said, Roger, got everything down. I'll be seeing you tomorrow morning, but listen, there's one more question I have. Do you have any other properties you might be interested in selling? That one question resulted in 5 acquisitions by us. And oddly enough, we did not end up buying the property those sellers called about. We bought other properties they had. So just a few thoughts that I have on seller interviews. I call them an interview. Just a great way to build rapport with a seller, because once you meet them the following day or maybe later that day, you've already got a lot of information about the property and hopefully about them. And certainly one of your goals, as is mine, is to find out why they would want to sell that property, because the way we make a lot of money is we solve their problems. Thanks, Roger.
Very good, Tony. That's very powerful, and that does work. I've also made those questions, and you talking about saying their name as often as possible. There's nothing out there that anybody wants to hear more than their own name. I have traveled literally almost every corner of this world, and I've been in places that I would never expect to run into people. And I've run into people that I know in Australia, in Tokyo, in Europe. I'll just be out. We'll be out to dinner or whatever and run into somebody and I'll hear, hey, Roger, what are you doing here? Hey, Roger, great to see you. I didn't expect to see you here. So when they hear their name, that builds that rapport, that builds that relationship that you have there. And it also helps you remember their name. There's nothing more uncomfortable to me than being introduced to somebody and like 1.6 seconds later, I forget their name. So I work hard to try to remember their name. The question that you followed that up, you ended that up with is, hey, do you have any other properties that are out there? That is strong. That is so strong. I think I'm thinking the Toons wound up with a property that way. I wound up with some properties that way a couple of occasions. And people don't think that far ahead. They think I'm just got to get rid of this problem. And oh, by the way, I didn't think those were problems, but they are. I want to get rid of them too. So Tony, you and Cindy are phenomenal. Y'all are going to be doing this on Thursday night, right there on the border of Arlington and Fort Worth, West Arlington, East Fort Worth, I-30, and East Chase Parkway. It's going to be a great meeting. I have been to several meetings that Tony and Cindy have put together, and they are very strong. So this is one you want to get to if you want to do this business, or if you're doing this business and you just pick up one more tidbit of information that's going to help you get that next property. You want to be Thursday night at Impact Arlington. So thank you so much, Tony, for being on here tonight. And that is very exciting. So our next up is going to be Karen Maxwell. Karen, we're going to add you to the list here. Hello, Karen. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
All right. Karen has a lot of stuff going on, but one of the main things that we've got on with Karen right now is on the 22nd, we're going to Cancun, Mexico, with about 60 of our closest friends.
Yep.
It's an all-inclusive support at the Dow Sapphire. We've got 1 or 2 rooms that might be available. That room rate is locked in. We had a cancellation last week because somebody got exposed to COVID. They didn't get COVID. They've been exposed, and they don't want to. They can't travel. It's not they don't want to. They can't travel right now. So we've got an opening there. It's the Mastermind Getaway.com. You can go on there and register. But Karen, you have been to several of these, as I have. So let's talk about that. What are people going to get when they go to Cancun in 2 weeks?
Every time y'all ask me about it, I get so excited because it was the absolute best thing that I ever did. Going on the mastermind trips with Dennis's group, you never know who you're going to be sitting beside at breakfast or run into at the coffee shop or spending time at the pool with, and what their knowledge is going to be that you may need, or what your knowledge is that they may need. You just never know what gold nuggets you're going to go away with. It's going to a real estate meeting or even an event like a couple hour or even half day event is completely different than being with 60 people plus everybody else. They'll have, there's just something about being around like-minded people for that period of time, enjoying relaxation, excursions. I remember going out on the catamaran, talking with some other investors about what they did, what their business model looked like. And I've never had a conversation with someone that I was like, it's kind of boring, because it's the same thing that we all do. And I just get really excited about talking about it. And it's really interesting, especially like if you're out with strangers and you hear someone talking about real estate, it'll likely make make your ears perk up. But when you get to know these people that we're going to be traveling with for 5 days, you're going to go away with great friendships. You're going to have great, you're expanding your network. Your network becomes their network becomes your network. And it's just phenomenal. And I'm so glad that Norma, thank you to Norma for working all this out for us, and for Dennis and Norma for setting it all up and getting all organized and going and doing that research for us last week. We have a cocktail party, I think, on Friday night. We have they're only like 1 hour meetings. So we'll meet officially for like an hour on Thursday and an hour, I think, on Saturday. But Dennis they're excited about getting some karaoke going. And they have a wonderful spa. Like you said, all inclusive. If you want to eat at 2:00 in the morning, just call room service. They'll bring it to your room, whatever you want off their menu. And then there are several restaurants and the buffet, and all of that's included. You don't have to have any cash with you whenever you go to this event. You have to pay for your airfare, and you've got to pay for your shuttle transfer to the hotel or to the resort. Other than that, that $9.95 covers 2 adults and up to 2 children, I think age 12. So if you want to bring your kids, that's fine. But we only have 1, maybe 2 rooms. It just depends on if anybody's booked that other room. And like Roger said, those are locked in at $9.95 right now. And we just happen to have a couple people cancel. And so their rooms may or may not be available. We don't know, because until if somebody goes into mastermindgetaway.com right now and books that last room, then it's gone.
Very good. Very good. I am so excited about this. It's a great way to get away. But the best part, as you said in there, is the networking part.
Yep.
We build relationships when we go on these trips that last a lifetime.
Absolutely.
And it's so nice to be able to just pick up your phone and call somebody 6 months after the event and say, hey, when we were down in Cancun, you made a comment about you doing investing this way. How do I get more information on that? Or tell me what I need to do. Or I've got this challenge that just came up, and you made a comment about it when we were at dinner one night, or we were at breakfast one morning, or we were on the excursion and we were going to the Mayan temples or the Aztec temples or whatever, or on a dive trip or whatever. You made a comment about that. Can you tell me more how to walk me through that? That is invaluable information.
Yep.
That we get on these vacations.
And sometimes you may get that nugget and it won't fit right now. But like you said, in 3 months or a year or next week, you may have a similar scenario that comes up and you'll know who to call. You'll be like, oh, Roger said something about that. Or if you got a seller that's, wanting to sell a property subject to, maybe it's a little difficult, they have you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you so much. Anything else happening right now? I guess we're going to see you. You're going to try to get up here this week if you can, but we'll see.
I'm 2.5 hours away from the Metroplex, but I really want to come to Pam's meeting. Pam, congratulations on your new meeting venue on Tuesday. I really want to go. I've never been to Texas Motor Speedway, so what better way to see it? And then I really am excited to have Tony and Cindy. They're just firehouses. I mean, they are just on fire. And I really want to be there to support them at their meeting. And we've got a couple of new people interested in becoming IMTs. So those are Impact Master Trainers. So we train the trainers, and then they train, their groups and stuff. So we are super excited about all the new possibilities. And looks like some of our open areas are getting snatched up. So. And then we've got
Very
Dennis,
good.
like you said, Dennis's 12 books. We are this close to going to print on the Royal Flush. And then we'll be working on the Real Impact. We'll start working on Real Impact Daily Inspiration. And then we'll continue on with the rest of his series. And one more book isn't going to hurt. Just bring it on.
All right. There we go. Well, if it's a collaboration, we can all throw in some stuff in there and make that happen. That's been done before. And we'll make that happen. So thank you, Karen, so much for being on here tonight. Powerful information that you brought to us tonight. We have those 1 or 2 rooms left for that getaway. Take advantage of that. It is short notice, but it is fun. And this is the beauty about doing this business. You do this business and you can take those quick vacations. Because you don't have a boss. You don't have the man or the person out there telling you need to be here at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then I'll let you go to lunch every day for an hour. And then I'll let you go home at 5 o'clock. And then what? Tomorrow, we're going to do the same thing. And we're going to do the same thing on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. With this business, you build your portfolio up. It's a wonderful business to be in. You are not chained down to your desk. You are not, or to somebody else's desk, should I say. So we have some great opportunities. So take advantage. be there with us. We're leaving on the 22nd. We're coming back. I believe it's on the 20. Whatever. We're leaving on Wednesday. Is that right? Karen, can you put Karen back on?
The
There we go.
22nd to the 26th. We leave on Wednesday.
22nd
and we
to
come
the
back on
26th.
Sunday.
Thank you. I meant to write that down, and I forgot all about writing that down. So Wednesday the 22nd, we're coming back on Sunday the 26th.
Yes.
The whole time there is not, we're not having meetings every time you turn around. We're going to be networking. We're going to be, you're going to be hanging out with your friends. So go to www.mastermindgetaway.com. It's going to tell you all about it and what it's going to be. It's at the Now Sapphire Resort, which is an all-inclusive resort. All food and all drinks are included. So be there. It'll be great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Karen. And we'll make that happen. So next we're going to add Doug and Renee, which are Impact Longview. Hello, Doug and Renee. It looks like y'all been out working on the farm today.
This is my Sunday go to meeting clothes.
There you go to meeting clothes. There you go. There you go. Longview, Texas. What else do you have? All right. So Longview, Texas. So y'all got some stuff happening right now, and you've got a meeting coming up Monday of next week, not tomorrow, but Monday of next week. So tell us about what's going on in Longview, Texas, Tony and Renee.
Well,
or Doug and Renee. There's not Tony. We talked to Tony a while ago. So Doug and Renee.
well, our meeting on the 20th is going to be on options. I'm going to teach you how to use an option contract to get a property under contract. And you don't want to leave without having a contract when you're talking to sellers like Tony was talking about. Once you get in the door, you want to sit down and eventually wind up with a contract. And the options contract is one of those that I use. It can be used for anything. So you can. It's basically like a stock option, where you say, okay, seller, I agreed to pay you this amount of money, and you'll give me this amount of time to do that. And I can turn around and I can either find my funding for that, or I can do a sub-2, or I can actually find a buyer. If I can find a buyer and I can turn this property for $5,000, $10,000, then that gives me a little bit of money to move on, especially if it's a house that's not in my farm area, or if it's one that I don't want to tackle. So that's what the options are. And as always, we're going to have chips and salsa. And
T Blancos.
That's right, from T Blancos. And I'd say we're 3/4 of the way through a remodel, and
Getting
keeping
really
that going.
excited about getting that on the market to sell.
Right.
So, yeah, good stuff.
Very good. Very good. Options are so powerful. If anybody's on this call or listening to this as a replay, and you have not done options, or you don't know how options work, you need to learn this, and you need to be at Longview on the 20th. Monday night, the 20th. Is that right? Monday night.
That's right.
And so, options are so powerful. I've talked to Doug and Renee about this, but I had a guy that I knew many years ago that actually tied up a lot of farmland on options. And the way he wrote the contract is every time he developed an area of that farmland for a housing development, or maybe maybe a shopping center or something on that basis, he only paid for the part that he developed. And the rest of it, the farmer got to run his cattle. He got to produce his crops. He got to pay his taxes. He got to maintain the property. And he only had to pay for the property, but he tied that up for 10 years on a 10-year option. Yeah. And he did very well with that. So options are a powerful tool to learn about real estate, and we're excited that you're going to be presenting that on the 20th. They're in Longview, Texas, the Big Red Barn. Now,
Yep.
for anybody on here, the way you're going to find these meetings is you can find them on Facebook or you can find them on meetup.com. If you go to meetup.com, which is kind of the go-to place that we have, you're going to type in Impact and you're going to see all of our locations come up. But if you're looking for Impact Longview, you do Impact Longview, Impact Arlington, Impact Decatur Alliance. You just type in Impact and the name of the city. Or you just type in Impact and you can see where all of our locations are, and you can find those meetings. So that is incredible. And you're 3/4 of the way through your latest rehab. So one thing about us here at Impact is we do what we say we do. Okay, we do what we teach. So we are actually all investors. We're all doing what we teach people what to do. And that's what makes this thing so beautiful with that. So Doug and Renee, thank you so much for being on here tonight.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you Monday, just a couple of days before we leave on the big event. So we also look forward to seeing you in Cancun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much. All right. Before we put Dennis on here, we're going to put Dennis on in a minute, but I want to make an announcement. November the 13th, which is a Saturday, and that is going to be an all-day inclusive class for Subject 2. It's going to be in South Fort Worth. We're putting that together. We will have links out to you. You can go on any of the Facebook sites or any of the meetup sites of any of our locations, and you can get links to that later this week. But it's going to be an all-day inclusive class. We're going to be talking about Subject 2s. We're going to be talking about what's in the book. Whoops, where are my hands? Talking about what's in the book and more. We have a complete workbook that we go through literally everything in Subject 2 and how to. We go through documents. We go through everything that's needed on Subject 2 as a workbook in there. We are planning on having some guest speakers there, loan servicing and RMLOs, which are people that write up mortgage notes. If you're doing a wrap, we may have a couple other people in there as guest speakers, but this is an exciting thing we're going to do. Once again, November the 13th, which is an all-day Saturday. We're going to be working this, and we're all going to be there. We're all going to be on board. We're going to have lots of examples out there. We're going to have lots of people there that are doing Subject 2s. A lot of networking there. Lunch is included. So the price is regular $3.99, but the early bird special is going to be $2.99. You can bring one friend for $100, not 20 friends for $100. One friend for $100. So we're excited that that's out there and making that announcement. We'll be talking about that every week in here, and then you'll also have a link to the registration site and more information about this and the website that's going to be presented on this. So excited about that. But now for the highlight of the evening, we're going to put on Mr. Dennis Henson, which is the smartest trainer in this business. So Dennis, let's pop you up on the screen. Hello, Dennis. How are you?
I'm good. Boy, this has been a great call tonight. How exciting. Right. Just think of all the opportunities that real estate investors have to learn by visiting these Real Impact meetings. You know, Tony's going to be telling about how to find the deals in this market. Pam's going to be talking about tax liens. The Tunes are going to be talking about options. Karen told us about the mastermind getaway. You've got the Subject 2 coming up. What have I left out? I mean, there's so much, it's hard to keep up. And then one of the things on the Mastermind Getaway that wasn't even mentioned is the experts that you're going to have available to you, and so that you can have breakfast, lunch, dinner, sit by the pool, do whatever you'd like, and just network and ask them questions. And the two meetings that we're having they're actually 2 hours plus. So we're going to have a wonderful time. We got quite a great agenda planned, but I'm just so excited about the opportunities that we're providing for real estate investors. And we're just getting started. We're about to open up Waco. We got some new things going on in East Texas. Karen's working. I think she has 30 something people that we're dealing with about setting up new real impact groups throughout Texas. And then one of the experts that we're having coming from Oklahoma, has the largest real estate group in Oklahoma. They're considering becoming a real impact group and spreading this throughout the state of Oklahoma. So I'm pretty excited about all this. I think it's just some wonderful opportunities for real estate investors. And that's what we're all about, improving the quality of people's lives through real estate investing. So, Roger, you still there? I don't see you. Oh, there you
I am here. I just giving you the full spotlight there, but thank you for adding that in there that we had there. And something else that in the last couple of weeks, we've had I guess close to 10 people that we're now coaching that weren't with us a couple of weeks ago. So we've got a lot of coaching going on right now. We're seeing a lot of stuff happening with our students out there. A lot of stuff happening with all of us, all the IMTs, the Impact Master Trainers, everything out there. We have that there. So, but we're excited. We've got, my specialty, I guess is the best way to put that, is subject to. If you've got any question on that, feel free to send us a message. You can reach out to us. We have, the November the 13th. If you're interested in subject to, you need to be there. All right. This thing sells out. We've had it sell out before. I expect this to sell out this time too. So you need to get in there. You need to get registered. We'll have all the links up and ready to go by Wednesday of this week. We'll have it on all the meetup sites by Wednesday of this week, and we're really gonna put that out there. What's that, Dennis?
Don't forget realimpacttraining.com will also have that on there and all of the meetings, where the meetings are located and what they're going to be about and so forth. So don't forget realimpacttraining.com.
Right. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. Realimpacttraining.com. Or once again on the subject to, we'll have that in there. We'll have the links in Meetup. We'll have the links on our Facebook pages, Facebook groups. So you can reach out to me personally. My email is realimpacttraining@gmail.com, and feel free to reach out on that. You can hit contact us on the Real Impact website, realimpacttraining.com website. So we have that out there. So we're looking forward to that. I always try to keep this under an hour. We're right at 49 minutes right now. So Dennis, do you have anything else to close this out with?
Well, I want to encourage everyone to support our groups, our group leaders. The IMTs work really hard putting these groups together, getting speakers for you, putting together door prizes, trying to make it so that it's worthwhile for you to attend. And we have this week. We have Pam and we have Tony. So if you're anywhere up near North Fort Worth, Alliance area, Decatur, be sure to visit Pam's group. And then on Thursday night, grand opening of AREA. Roger will be there. I'll be there. Karen is going to, there'll be a number of us there. to welcome you, to get this kicked off. And I'm really excited about Tony and Cindy and what great investors they are and what wonderful teachers. I'm just excited about the Arlington Group and getting it cranked up and moving again. So that's pretty much, if you have the time available, going to the getaway would really be great. If you can't make this one, though, we'll have another one early next year. So hope to see you at one of those.
All right. And for $9.95, this is all inclusive on the getaway. We've got two left, one or two rooms left. So reach out there and get registered and make this happen. Surprise your spouse and say, oh, guess what? What we're doing Wednesday of next week. And I've done that with Linda Jean a couple of times. That really works out well when you say you need to pack your bag and this is kind of the climate we're going to, and we're not going to tell you where you're going until we get to the airport. So that's always that's kind of what I do. So look for that. Subject to book. Dennis has his Royal Flush book. There we go. Right in front of my face. So we got the Royal Flush that's out there. You got another one coming out. What is your book coming out?
Well, I have several coming out. I have Real Impact, the 5 M's of real estate investing, how to get started investing in real estate, all the money you will ever need. And then that's how far I am on, those are really close to being finished. And the others in the series are probably 90% completed. So over the next year, we're going to have a lot of books coming out.
All right. Good deal. Good deal. So we look forward to that. So thank you all for being on here tonight. Dennis and I want to really thank you all. Pam, thank you for being on here tonight. Tony and Cindy, excited about Thursday night. Pam, we're excited about Tuesday night. Don't forget that, guys. Doug and Renee, going to be next week, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, about options. And we're looking forward to that. So everybody, be safe. Thank you all for being here. We've got, remember our country, remember the people that have sacrificed, and remember what happened 20 years ago today, or 20 years ago yesterday. And then we just want to keep those people in our thoughts and our prayers that were affected by that. I had 3 people that I know very well that were supposed to be in the World Trade Center that morning for breakfast, and all 3 of them, their schedule got changed and they couldn't be there. 2 of them slept in, and so they were just blessed that they weren't in the buildings, but they did have, that was a tough deal. So think of that. Think of our country, and everything is, we just want to we want to help people. That's what we do, is we solve problems. Dennis says that all the time. We're problem solvers. So thank you, everybody, for being on here tonight. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you all for being on here, and we will see you next week, 7 o'clock. Week after next, we will not be holding a meeting on Zoom because we're going to be in Cancun. So I'm sorry, but that's kind of the way we do it. So thank you so much for being on here tonight. Y'all have a pleasant day, a great tomorrow, and then look us up on Mastermind Getaway. Look us up on realimpacttraining.com, mastermindgetaway.com, and we're excited. So join us, all of our locations. Thank you. Have a great day.